Welcome to Lee Keeps Going. In this episode, I want to talk about the purpose of this channel and sort of what I intend with it. So far, it's a new channel. I've only got a couple of videos up, and you might have a little bit of trouble figuring out exactly what this channel is about. So far, I have 2 eclipse-related videos, one about a rocket launch, and one about camping. So what's the common thread, or is there one? And what I would like to say is there is a thread. It's not so much about exactly what the videos are focused on as more an attitude. To tell you about how that works for me and what I'm doing, I need to kind of give you some backstory, give you some history of how I came to this point in my life and what I see going forward is. You'll notice from the name of the channel, Lee Keeps Going. Why did I pick that name? And I played around with lots of different names, just trying to find something that fit. And what I finally just settled on this one because it kind of describes where I am. I'm in my late 50s, and at this point in my life, like anybody my age, there's been ups and downs. And I had a really big down 3 years ago this coming week. And that is when I lost my wife of 25 years, very suddenly and unexpectedly. And in 48 hours, basically my world turned upside down. And how I kept going after that event is part of what this channel is about. My wife, Roxana, was very much an extrovert. She absolutely loved traveling and would have traveled all the time if she could have. She would have actually been able to retire about a year ago, and I know she would have had, one trip after another planned, even though I probably still would have been working, and she didn't mind. She would find a friend to go with. She wanted to see everything, and so that's something we both shared. We shared a joy of travel, and so traveling is one part of what I see as that adventure of life where you keep seeing new things, you keep going and experiencing new things. So that's part of the spirit of what I'm doing. But another part of that is not just her love of travel and mine that we shared, but also the idea that she didn't get to keep doing what she wanted to do, and I can, but sometimes that takes an effort. And what I'm trying to do with my life, I'm still working, I'm still doing all those things, but is not miss opportunities. It's so easy to say, oh, I'll go do this in a year or two, I'll do this, or I'll do that when I get a chance, whatever. It's just taking more of the attitude is I have the opportunity, take it now when I can. And so that's what I hope to show somewhat with this channel, is just my ability to keep doing those things and doing the things I love, finding new adventures. And I use the term adventure very broadly. It's an adventure to go for a walk in your neighborhood sometimes. It's an adventure to visit a new country. It's an adventure to do something you've never done before. But all of those are things that are worth doing and you want to keep doing. And so I want to use this channel as a way of just showing things that I love to do and finding joy in things and not putting things off unnecessarily. there were a few things that really kind of helped me um, as I was dealing with grief and still dealing with grief. And one of those is camping. I just really like to get outdoors. It's calming. It's a chance to not have a schedule that you have to follow. And so camping is one of the things that I really like to do. And it's a great way to see new places and relax. Um, so you'll probably see a lot of camping on here. That's going to be the way I get around to a lot of places. Is I want to go and just see things and camp and enjoy that kind of relaxed atmosphere. Like I said, I've found a lot of comfort in camping. I've always liked camping. I mean, we used to truck camper camp when I was a kid, and then we got motorhomes, and then I got a little older. I was tent camping with Boy Scouts, and then in more recent times I was able to take my sons camping through Boy Scouts, and we had some really great experiences through that. Canoeing in Canada, hiking in the mountains of New Mexico, hiking Yosemite. I got to do all of those with that opportunity that I had with my sons in Boy Scouts. And so now I'm a little more comfort, like a little more comfort now. So tent camping, I can still do it when I need to, but I bought a small trailer. It's one of the videos talking about how that trailer's set up, and it just makes it really easy to go camping. And I think that was one thing, is making it easy to do what you love. Find ways to be able to go out and enjoy that. So whenever in this 6 weeks after I lost Roxana, some friends of mine were camping in Wyoming and invited me to go with them. And it would have been so easy to just stay at home. I'm an introvert. I just could have just stayed at home, and that wouldn't have been healthy. And that opportunity, they gave me this opportunity to do something that I loved and have an excuse to do it as well. And so I went with them, spent a couple of days in Wyoming with them, and that time frame, there were so many things that I was trying to deal with. And before COVID, we had talked about going for a couple of big trips we had planned. And just as a little funny aside here, we were talking about what's our next big trip going to be. This was the trip we were actually planning. This is late 2019, early 2020, before things fell apart. And we were saying, where do we want to go this May? And I said, let's go to Yellowstone. And Roxana was like, great, we're going to Costa Rica. So that was just, she wanted to go big. She said, we can do Yellowstone later. We can do let's go somewhere big. Costa Rica and Machu Picchu. Those actually became that trip plan that very quickly didn't happen because the world shut down. But so I was going up with my friends, meeting them in Wyoming, and I said, I'm going to Yellowstone. That's a trip we had planned for the future that I still wanted to do. I'd been to Yellowstone when I was a kid, and I wanted to go back, and it was just that was the time to go. So I went, and that was really a step that I needed to take. It was a big step because I was going by myself, which made it hard. But it was a beautiful place, and it was a beautiful trip. And I think, one of the things I think about when I do some of these trips is I'm taking a piece of her with me, which is, it's a comfort in a way, knowing that, I'm doing what she would have wanted to do. She would have been traveling. She would have been going places, not letting, there be excuses for not doing it. And so, that I think doing that trip fairly early on was good for me because it helped me, to know that was possible, that there was that opening to do what I needed to do and enjoy it, even though it did, bring that pain that comes from grief with the joys that you feel when you're doing things that remind you of the person. Um, the next big, I guess, camping hurdle that I'll just mention while I'm talking about this, is we actually had a camping trip planned for the weekend she died. It was really the first camping trip we had gone on as a couple. Well, we'd gone with our kids before, and we hadn't actually gone on a camping trip as a couple at that point, where we were going to like go out and camp in a tent and doing all that. We were going to meet some friends, and that was going to be to Pedernales Falls State Park in Central Texas, and we were supposed to arrive on the Sunday that she died. We would have actually arrived at the park within an hour or two of that time. So that was like one of those things that was just in the back of my head, is I had to make that trip at some point, because we didn't, she didn't get to. And so that wasn't the first trip that I took with my trailer, but it was the first solo trip I took with my trailer. I went on one trip, kind of a shakedown weekend. I don't count that as really a trip. I went to a nearby lake and did my shakedown for one night. I took one trip to Oklahoma with my son, my older son, and then about 3 or 4 weeks after I had gotten my trailer, I went to Pedernales Falls, and I spent a couple of days there, because I just I felt I needed that trip, because again it was a piece of unfinished business in a way, that we didn't get to go on that trip together, and I felt I needed to complete that. So I keep camping because I like it. I'm using these trips to go places and see things that I wanted to see. Like, my first video on this channel, my first episode, is going to see a SpaceX Starship launch, and that's the kind of thing that I saw a shuttle launch when I was in my 20s, and I've always loved spaceflight. And so when I have the opportunity to go see a rocket launch, within a day's drive of my house, why say no? Why miss that opportunity? Take that chance. Go do it. There was no chance. There was no guarantee that rocket was going to launch while I was down there. But if I hadn't gone, I was definitely not going to see anything. So going and doing that, my last video is about seeing the total eclipse, which again was happening within, my house actually was in the totality path, even though I went somewhere else to get even a longer view of totality. It's very easy in your daily life to just go, oh yeah, that's nearby, I'll do it someday, whatever. But now I think I try to have that attitude that, take that opportunity, see it. If I get a chance to go see another solar eclipse, I'm going. I've seen 2 now, total solar eclipses. I went to the annular eclipse last October, down in Central Texas as well, because they're fun. I enjoy them, and do the things you enjoy. That's the bottom line. And so that's why I want to do this channel. I want to share the things I enjoy with you. Hopefully you enjoy them as well. And as part of that, I'm keeping Roxana's spirit alive. And that is part of me, having that I don't know, that expression of my just enjoyment of life, is knowing that she would have wanted me to be happy, and these things make me happy, and it's worth doing. And you know, we should do the things we like, do the things we enjoy, do those experiences and things that are fun and just good to do, and share them with people when you can. But I'm fine finding the things I like and doing them, by myself. I don't have to have someone go with me. I don't need, to to always plan things with other people to find that joy. Just there, don't make it an excuse like, oh, I can't go because I don't have anybody to go with. That's not an excuse for me. Just do it, right? Go find a way to do it yourself. Enjoy it. When you can do it with friends, great. When you can do it with loved ones, wonderful. But in my case, my boys have their own interests. We do things together, but they're not going to go on a lot of these trips with me, and that's fine. They do what they enjoy, and I'm happy for them that they do that. But for me, traveling and other experiences that I want to do, get rid of the excuses and just go do them. And so I hope to share some of that with you. And there'll be times like this video is, it's not a happy-go-lucky trip or something, right? It's a lot more emotional, and there'll be times when I probably need to share those things with you, if you want to hear them. And there'll be certain trips that are emotional, but on a day-to-day basis, I'm enjoying life. I'm able to do the things that I want to do and like to do, and get all these great experiences. Like, just the last month, I've a Starship launch and a total eclipse within a 4-week period. That's awesome. Those are things that I would have never imagined as a kid, that those sorts of things would happen, basically, in my backyard almost, so that's a rambling way of telling you what this channel's about. So you're going to see a lot of different things. This isn't a camping channel. This isn't a rocket channel. This isn't a astronomy channel. Or you're also going to see a lot of birds and photography probably from me, because I'm trying to get better at bird photography, and just photography in general, are all things that I enjoy. But this is a channel about things I enjoy. And hopefully you will enjoy them too. So thank you for watching through this video, and I hope you enjoy the things that I do moving forward in future episodes. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.